Five, four, three, two, one. Happy New Year's. It is that time of the year when we reflect back on our lives in the past year and look ahead to the new year, and we wonder, what if I committed to that one thing? Could I get to that one place? This is my favorite, absolute favorite time of the year. It's my favorite holiday, and I hope that I can motivate you and encourage you today with this episode. As you can see, I'm in a different setup today. It's not my usual Espresso with Omar setup. But if I'm very honest with you, I had recorded this podcast and many other podcasts, and my microphone was not working. It was not on. So here I am in the spirit of taking everything on the chin and moving forward no matter what is ahead of us, no matter what the challenge is. I am here with one hope. Is to encourage you, is to motivate you, is to give you an espresso shot of motivation for your day, for your week, and now I hope your new year. It's a beautiful, beautiful time of the year because we really do sit back and wonder, if I can just commit to this one thing, can I actually get to that one place? And the answer to that is, you already know where what you currently do can get you. It's to where you are right now. So my answer to you is, why not try? Why not see what if you do commit? What if you do commit to that one thing? Can you get to that one place? This is my favorite holiday. It's my absolute favorite time of the year because I really do think this is one of the deepest, one of the most intimate, one of the most spiritually meaningful moments of the year. My son asks me what's my favorite holiday, and I tell him it is the new year. And when I try to explain that, it's a little bit difficult because what are we celebrating with the end and the new? What are we celebrating? And deeper than that, what are all the cultures of all time celebrating? Because in all cultures, whether it's in the Western culture, Eastern culture, in the ancient past, this idea of a new year or of a new cycle is always celebrated. It seems to be ingrained into the way of the way that the universe and the way that the earth works, right? We work in seasons, and this is the end of one and a beginning of a new one. So it's absolutely my favorite time of the year. And that being said, it has been extremely frustrating for me as an individual to hear and see so much ridicule of the new year, new me mentality, the new year, new you way of looking at celebrating the new year. There's been a lot of ridicule. And when I sit back and I wonder about that ridicule, first of all, I understand it, and I'll get into that. I understand why that ridicule occurs. But deeper than that, and to my frustration, I don't think that individuals who ridicule the new year, new me mentality are truly understanding what they are ridiculing. Because if the human being has any superpower, if we are capable of any one beautiful thing as a superpower that we can do, is our ability to adapt, our ability to evolve, our ability to grow, to make changes in the environments that we come in contact with the expectation of having something different come out on the other side. We have the ability to take things on and to make the adaptations, the changes necessary to have a different outcome. So when you ridicule the idea, the commitment, the decision-making process, the intimate acceptance that I am going to do things differently this year to become a different person at the end of the year. When you ridicule that, to me, that is the epitome. It is representing where your mentality is at, which is self-limiting, which is a self-imposed limitation on what you can and can't accomplish. You have told yourself, I can't become anyone different. This is who I am, and this is it. Well, I have to give the devil his due, right? I understand where the ridicule is coming from because I can already imagine some of my peers, some of the people in my life saying that, well, look, we're not ridiculing someone's ability to make a change, right? Like, go make your change. What we are making fun of, what we're poking fun at, is the individual who does the copy and paste, right? The copy and paste is, it's a new year. They take the same goals that they wrote down a year ago and they copy and paste it again for the new year, which means that they are not making any traction on any of their goals. They set goals every year and they don't follow through. And that is what people are picking fun at. That's what people are ridiculing. They're ridiculing this mentality of, I'm going to set a bunch of goals and do none of them. So I'm giving the devil his due, right? Okay, that's what you're making fun of. All right, understood. However, what did you do different this year? Right? If you're making fun of the copy paste individual who copies the same goals on the new year and doesn't make any traction on them, well, you're living the same life, right? So you have the same job, you have the same events, the same challenges every year, and you are planning on living that same year all over again. So what makes you any different? What makes you any better? What makes you any better to ridicule someone who's at least taking the risk, taking the at least they're courageous enough to say, this is who I want to become. These are the things that I want to work on. They are at least taking the jump, the leap to write these things down, because one of the beautiful things about the new year, new you mentality is that when you've taken the commitment, when you've taken the intimate decision of, I'm going to change, and not because anyone's in your ear, not because anyone's saying, hey, you need to change. It's usually, and I would dare to say all the time, it's due to having this very blurry, distant visual vision of what you could become if you engaged in XYZ. It's a very blurry image into the future of what I could be if I decided to lock in on XYZ. And that's where the risk comes, because it's not a clear picture. It's not like you know exactly where you're going to head into in 2026, but you have this blurry visual that you write down and go, this is the direction I'm going to go into because I think I can see something better on the other side of 2026. So that's what you're ridiculing. You're ridiculing that energy, that superpower to say, I'm going to get here. And you're doing it on the assumption that you are doing more than they are by writing their goals down, because you're living the same life on repeat. But that's my giving the devil his due and my response to the ridicule. But today, what I want to do is I want to give you a list of actions or a list of steps that you can take in 2026 to get closer to your goals, because you don't want to be the copy and paste individual. You don't want to be the person who makes the same list of goals and doesn't make any traction moving forward. So I'm going to give you 7 steps, 7 things that you can do so that you can start to make progress, start to have a direction on your goals. And I'm going to be very, very blunt about my steps. The first 6 steps you can probably hear from many other influencers, from many other coaches, from many other people who are going to put out content about the new year. The first 6 are going to be basically something you can get from Google, basically something you could get from someone else. But number 7, so if you're listening to this, please stay to number 7. Number 7 is going to be a game changer. Number 7 is the one that if you don't engage in the first 6, but you do number 7, you will make progress. Way more progress than you have ever made so far. I guarantee it. So I'm going to go through my steps. but number 7 is the game changer. And if you're still listening right now, I just want to remind you to give me a like, give me a subscription on this channel. I am still trying to figure out how to grow this, how to do this, but what I do know for a fact is I want to motivate, I want to encourage, and I want to give out good vibes, good messages for everybody in their weeks, and to give you a short shot of motivation every time. So give me a like, give me a subscription so you don't miss any of my videos. I'm uploading every Tuesday, and like I said, my setup is different today because I had some malfunctions with my microphone, but we're still moving forward because I want to get this message out there. So how do we make some progress? Well, number 1, you got to write it out. You got to externalize what you see internally. Create a vision board, make a list, write it out, put it out into the world. You cannot just have it living inside your mind. You need to externalize this through some method. You can write it out. You can create a beautiful vision board. You can do whatever you need to do to externalize it, but it's very important for it to be out of your head, out of your mind, into the real world. Number 2, you want to place this external visual somewhere where you can see it every day. Every day. So some examples of this can be your phone background. It can be on your wall. It can be on your fridge. It can be on your ceiling above your bed. So when you wake up every morning, you see it. It can be on your front door as you walk out the door. It can be on your car's dashboard. It could be at your work office space. It can be on all of these places simultaneously. So you are seeing this every day. And my goal with this one, with number 2, is I want to make it painfully obvious that you are wanting to accomplish these goals. And when I say painfully obvious, is because there's going to be a moment in 2026 where you may fall off. You might hit that wall that a lot of people hit when they're trying to accomplish new goals in the new year, where they stop progressing. They stop thinking about their goals. They stop to create steps or actions in the direction of their goals. So I want this to jump out at you every day and remind you, hey, this is what you said you want to do. Hey, this is what you said you're going to accomplish in 2026. It's going to be painfully obvious. If you're not making any progress, if you have slowed down, it's going to be painfully obvious because you're going to have to see it every day. So number 2, you got to place it somewhere where it's going to be painfully obvious. Number 3, you got to break down the goal into a quarter system, and this I'm taking from the business world. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of businesses, a lot of enterprises that need to provide some kind of report to people who are either investors or to their boards. What they do is they break down their yearly tasks or their yearly goals into quarter systems, right? So every 3 months, they have a smaller set of goals that they want to accomplish that all play into the larger goals of the year. So I want you to break down your goals. So this can look like, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds in 2026, right? So you want to set a quarter system tracker, right? So after the first 3 months, you can say, I know that I'm making progress on my goal if I have lost 12 pounds, if I have lost 15 pounds in the first 3 months of 2026. Or you could break it down even more. So number 4 is you want to track the progress and make adjustments. So you may want to make the goal to lose 15 pounds in the first 3 months. And then you're going to set even smaller weekly goals of going to the gym 3 times a week and tracking that, which is step number 4, tracking your progress by just having a calendar out and making an X every day you go to the gym. So if you have 3 X's that week, you've hit the weekly goal, you've marked it. And then after the quarter system, after 3 months, you can make adjustments. You can see, am I on track for my yearly goal of losing 50 pounds? Well, did I lose the 12 pounds I said in the first 3 months? Well, why didn't I? Well, did I hit the weekly goals of going to the gym 3 times a week? Oh, you know what? I struggled. I was averaging maybe 1 to 2 times per week. So I lost 9 pounds. So these are the adjustments that I would need to make in the quarter number 2 to get to my goals. So this is super important, breaking down the goal into a quarter system and then tracking the progress and making adjustments. Step number 5, set weekly steps or goal that lead into that 3-month interval and a tracking system. So maybe it is going to the gym 3 times a week and walking 10,000 steps every day, right? But you want to have a weekly step or weekly goal that you want to hit, so you're not constantly overwhelmed by the larger goal that you have set of losing 50 pounds in 2026. And I'm using weight loss and that because it's very clear the weekly goals that you can set. And if you're more interested in setting something more individualized, you can message me. This is what I do for a lot of clients. I help them get to their weight goals or their body fat loss goals. So if you're more interested in how we do that, then please go ahead and message me on Instagram or message me on any of my social media platforms at Gym with Omar. So number 6, accountability. What happens if you don't follow through? What happens if you do? This is super important because a lot of people, they if they don't follow through, nothing happens. There's not a negative consequence for their inaction. And I think it's super important for us to set some of those in line. So whether there's a lot of methods for you to set accountability. You can have an accountability person. You can hire a coach. You can hire a trainer. You can start working out with a friend, and they have to hold you accountable. If your goal is to save some money, right? What happens if you don't hit your goal of saving, the maybe $25 a week goal? Maybe there has to be something in your system that holds you accountable. Maybe there's something that happens when you don't follow through. So it's super important. And I'm not giving any specifics on this because I think the specifics is up to you. You know yourself best. You know what motivates you and what doesn't. For some people, it's having a cup of Starbucks coffee by the end of the week as a reward. That works for them. Someone like me, that doesn't usually work for me. Due to my upbringing, I think I need a little bit more consequences that I want to avoid so that I can move forward. Other people want a reward that's pulling them towards their goal. Whatever it is, you need an accountability way. You need a way to hold yourself accountable. You need an accountability system to hold yourself accountable. So that's 1 through 6. Write it out, make it external, put it somewhere where it's going to be painfully obvious, break down the goal in a quarter system, track that progress and make adjustments as needed, set weekly steps or goals, and hold yourself accountable. As I said in the beginning, these are things you can get from many other individuals, maybe even from Google, from AI. If you Google how to stay consistent on my 2026 goals, you're going to get these pretty much every time in some way or some format. Number 7 is the game changer. This is the one that if you're not going to do 1 through 6 because it's a little bit too tedious or you don't believe in them, but you do number 7, it's going to be a game changer. So to do this, I'm going to use an example so that we can follow through what number 7 looks like, because number 7 is multi-step, but it's the one that's going to bring so much progress. The first thing I want you to do, whatever your goal is, in this case, the example is going to be someone who wants to get into better shape. I want you to start to think about the lifestyle. I want you to think about what does the day-to-day look like for the person who is accomplishing or who has accomplished the goal you want to accomplish. So, okay, my goal is to lose some weight in 2026, become fit. So the lifestyle of this person is probably someone who goes to the gym maybe 4, 5, 6 times a week, who are working out, who probably run, and who are tracking their calories in some type of way, who are controlling their intake. So they're very much health conscious. They're eating meal prep meals. They're probably going to the gym in the morning, and they're probably very active. They have a lot of energy. So I'm imagining what the lifestyle of this individual would be who has accomplished or is accomplishing the goal that I want to accomplish. So that's step number 1 for step 7. Really think about what is the lifestyle of the person, of the individual who is accomplished or is accomplishing the goal you want to accomplish. And then the second part of this is I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think. I want you to do an inventory of all the people that you know. And I don't just mean in person. And I mean people that you met in middle school, people that you met in high school that maybe are still on your Facebook friend list, on your Instagram followers list, on your TikTok, on your Snapchat, on your X profile, all the people that you have connected in one way or another, the people that you know at work, the people that you know from family gatherings, friends of friends, friends of family, people that you connected with in different job environments that you were in. I want you to take inventory of everyone that you've come in contact with, and I want you to quickly do an inventory on who of all these people meet the criteria of the closest to the lifestyle that we just talked about, the closest to living the lifestyle that is accomplishing or has accomplished your goal. So in the example that I'm using, there's an individual who wants to lose weight, who wants to get into better shape. They know that the lifestyle of that person is someone who will go to the gym multiple times a week, is controlling their intake, and I'm taking an inventory, and I see that I have a cousin that I haven't talked to in a long time, but he's always posting him going to the gym. He's always posting his meals. He's always posting all his workouts and his exercises. And he's really a gym bro. And he's completely living that lifestyle. So I want you to do that for your goal as well. Who is living the lifestyle as close as possible to accomplish your goal? And the last part of step number 7 is you need to reach out to this individual, and you need to have a sit down, a get together, a cup of coffee, a brunch, a lunch, a dinner, a phone call, a text exchange, and you are going to reach out to them and ask them for some guidance, for some information that maybe you don't have now. You're going to say, hey cousin, I know we haven't talked in a while, but one of the things that I want to do in 2026 is I want to get into better shape. And I see that you're always working out. Is there anything that you can tell me, anything that you can give me, anything, any feedback, any information, any guidance that you can provide me so that I can be successful on this goal? This part of the step is super important because they're going to give you something. They're going to give you some information. They're going to give you some guidelines. They're going to give you something, and you must follow through. You must implement whatever they say. Step number 7 is going to change your life in 2026 because this is going to give you something that you didn't have before. It's going to give you a plan. It's going to give you a step. It's a cheat code to make progress on your goals in 2026 because they're going to give you information you don't have right now. And guess what? You're not going to want to do it. My cousin is going to say, hey, okay, come work out with me on Friday at 6 a.m. Oh, is that what I have to do? I have to go to the gym at 6 a.m. on Friday with you? Yes. Because that is information you didn't have before. You're going to get so much further, so much more progress from having someone that tells you what they're doing, and you're going to have hands-on experience, and you're going to have accountability because they're the ones telling you about it, and you're going to follow through, and you're going to make so much more progress. What I'm kind of asking you to do here, and I'm going to get a little woo-woo here, but this is what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to go and find your new mentor. I'm asking you to go and find your new teacher. I'm asking you to go find your new sensei, whatever you want to call it, but that's what they're going to become in that moment for you. Step number 7 is a game changer. Even if you don't do 1 through 6, if you just do number 7, you're going to make so much more progress in 2026 for your goals. So to recap step number 7, think about that goal that you have. Think about the lifestyle that it takes to have accomplished that goal. Take inventory on all the people that you know that you've come in contact with in your life, and who is living the lifestyle the closest that you can imagine that will accomplish that goal. Reach out to them and ask for their guidance, for information. What should you do next? And whatever they say, you are going to implement, and you're not going to want to. You're going to have a lot of resistance, but guess what? They know what you don't know. They're doing what you're not doing. They have accomplished or are accomplishing what you haven't yet. So they have now become your new teacher, your new mentor, your new sensei, and you follow through, you implement, and you repeat. If you just repeat this step 7, in 2026, you're going to make so much more progress than 1 through 6. Now, if you do 1 through 7, you're going to kill it. You're going to make it, and you already know it. And you already know it. One more time, thank you. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode. This is my new setup for today because my mic did not work on my last setup that I recorded. I hope you still enjoyed this podcast, and I still hope you got an espresso shot of motivation, an espresso shot of encouragement for your day, for your week, and for your 2026 year. Once again, give me a like, give me a subscription if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much. I appreciate you, your love, your support. And I hope your 2026 is an amazing year filled with all the blessings and all the progress that you are looking for. Follow step 1 through 7, but definitely do number 7. Have a good one. See you guys in the next one.